And welcome to this edition of the Legends Table presented by Surfside, right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network, alongside Cavalier legend and Director of Alumni Relations and Community Impact, Mr. Campy Russell. Campy, great to see you. Always good to talk with you.
Well, Scott, there's no question. I feel really good about today. I feel really good about sitting here with you. You know, I've always wanted to do this, so now I have the opportunity.
Well, I've always wanted the opportunity to talk to our legend today, which actually I have quite a few times, but looking forward today to talking with Larry Nance, Sr. Larry is such a legend that this is not his first time on the show. He's actually been here before, Campy.
Well, I think it speaks volumes to who Larry Nance is. You know, Larry Nance was definitely, and even today, is still an impactful guy with this team, in the community. Wherever Larry goes, he's going to go in there and be a big part of it. So that's the thing that I really love about Larry Nance Sr.
We're lucky to have him, and we're going to talk more about that as the show goes on. But Campy, I want to ask you, because your career was kind of wrapping up as Larry's was starting back in the early to mid-'80s. What was your first thought when you saw this 6'10" pogo-legged guy blocking shots on this end and dunking on everybody else on the other end?
You know, I think you just explained it perfectly. You know, because when I first saw him, he was in Phoenix, and it might have been his rookie year, and they put him in the game, and I'd never seen anybody that was that long, that athletic, that could jump, travel, do anything that he wanted to do out there on the floor. The only thing that he didn't do is at that time he did not have that jumper that he later developed, which definitely took his game to a whole different level in terms of Larry Nance.
He did. So after his first 7 years with the Suns, then he was, of course, traded here to Cleveland with the Cavaliers, 7 more years with the Cavs. Part of those great teams in the late 80s, early 90s. And Campy, as good as those teams were, let's be honest, they're not as good without him, were they?
Well, I think it was just a really good combination of guys. You know, when you look back at that team, a lot of people talk about that, you know, today's front lines. But when you look at their front line, they had a 7-footer in terms of Doherty. They had a 6'10" small forward, which I would say Larry Nance was. Then they had John Hot Rod, who was 6'11". So you're talking about a big front line, and you look at the impact that Larry still had on that team. I think it just speaks volumes to the kind of talent that Larry brings to wherever he goes, and clearly he brought a lot of talent and a lot of efforts to this Cavalier basketball team.
And something else, of course, that made him the legend that he is, after his playing career, he's been a part of the organization for the last 30 seasons.
Yes.
In some way, shape, or form within the organization. So again, when you talk about a Cavalier legend, Larry Nance Sr., both on and off the court.
No doubt about it. You know, he has been the kind of guy that is really friendly. I think it takes some time to get to know him. And but at the same time, the thing I like about him is that he is a guy that wants to compete and compete at a high level no matter what he does. And the reason why I say that is every time we go out on the golf course, you know, there's always a big issue between him and I, because I don't want him to beat me and he don't want me to beat him as well. So it's always a good outing.
Well, I'm looking forward to the conversation. We're going to talk with Larry Nance Sr. about his playing career, his post-playing career. We've got a special guest from the Nance family going to join us, and in the TV business, that's called the Big T's. I'm not going to tell you who it is. We're going to talk about their kids, because the 3 Nance children have had terrific basketball careers in their own right. But we need to take our first time out of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk with Cavalier legend Larry Nance Sr. That's all coming up next. This is the Legends Table presented by Surfside, and you're watching it right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Cavs fans know greatness on the court and in their drink. That's why Surfside iced teas and lemonades are the MVP of game day. No matter what you're watching, there's no better way to enjoy the action. Surfside iced teas and lemonades are made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Only 100 calories and 0 bubbles. That's right, no bubbles, no troubles, just a smooth, refreshing sip every time. So crack one open, sit back and enjoy the game. Must be 21 and over. Please drink responsibly. Well, welcome back to the Legends Table presented by Surfside on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. And it is a real pleasure to welcome in our legends of the show, Larry Nance Sr. and his wife, Jaynee. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's go.
I know this is tough for you to do, even though, as we said on the teaser, this is the second time you've done it. Larry, we've joked during the pre-show and everything. we've talked many a year. You're a Cavs legend for a number of reasons. We're going to talk about it. But the question I want to ask you is, you've come to so many games here at Rocket Arena. Do you still get tingles when you look up and you see the number 22 up there with Nance on the back of it?
Yeah, it's really cool because I know how close we were to having a championship and how close we were as teammates and how lucky we were to have the coaching staff and general managers and owners that we had. So a lot of guys don't, sometimes they don't have a positive outlook on their career, but this was just, I was really lucky to have the people around me that I had.
Jaynee, how about you? When you walk out there, you've got to look up and check it out once in a while, if not every time. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I'm proud. I'm proud every time I see it, and we have a lot of friends. If they're at a game, they'll send us pictures of it, and it's like, yep, there it is. He worked long and hard to get that. So,
Well, I guess my only question too about that is, how do your children, how do Pete, Larry Jr., as well as Casey, how do they look at that?
that's a good question, because sometimes the what the Hardwood Classics would be on when the boys were younger, and they'd be playing video games. Boys, come on. Dad's on. It's getting like they just look over. Oh, good. Go right back to playing video games. Like they just have no clue. But now, I mean, I think they really, every interview they do, he's part of. They
Yes.
bring Dad up, and it cannot be denied that he's really something to be proud of.
You know what's great, too, is for the folks at home that maybe aren't aware, a very special moment for you as a family back in late summer. I believe it was August that the Revere High School, where the kids went, they retired the jersey number 22. I saw a photo of it. I could see the happiness on your faces.
Yes.
Your thoughts of that special night?
Obviously, I thought it was really cool, and that anytime those 22s go up, it's exciting. And I don't want to talk too much. I'm gonna let you handle the rest.
Gee, so sweet of you. Yeah, we were just so proud. It was so fun to have them all together there, and just a great, fun atmosphere, and their old teachers there, and yeah, it was really something.
And Larry, I want to follow up real quick because 22, that was kind of your brother's number, right? Isn't that where that started?
Yeah, my brother, and that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
And it makes me so happy when I see my kids. Well, Casey wore, Pete, Larry, and it just make me smile a lot. So it's a wonderful thing.
Well, for the most part, Larry, when you look back at your career, you look back at where your children are at this particular point. Still, Larry's still playing, and then have Pete, who's on the rise. How do you look at that, and what do you think drove them to being where they are at this particular point?
Well, how I look at it is I'm very proud of them. I think I'm one of the luckiest people in the world to be able to enjoy them. It's like I have. I mean, Casey was so much fun to watch. Larry's fun to watch, and Pete, who I think is the most talented one of all of us, is fun to watch also. So it's been so good watching them, and I feel very lucky to do that.
Larry, Campy and I were talking the other day, and we realized that Larry Jr. has been in the NBA for like 10 years. He came in like 2015.
Unbelievable.
He's played 546 games as of me typing this up yesterday. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you played 14 years, and all of a sudden your oldest son now has got 10 in the league.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to play one more so he can throw it in my face, which is cool. I mean, he's made a nice career for himself, and again, I have more butterflies in my stomach when I watch those kids play than I ever had when I played myself, and it's just because I'm just so proud of him, and it's so much fun to watch him.
Well, he played 3 seasons with the Cavaliers. Also, you mentioned, Campy mentioned Pete. I've had the pleasure of calling his games for the last year and a half, on and off this past season, as he's gone back and forth. Jaynee, as a mom, of course, you always want what's best for your children. How is it as a mom when Pete has played in the Cleveland area, close to home, and then he goes to Philadelphia, he comes back he was kind of bouncing around a little bit. How hard is that for a mom? Because as an announcer who gets to know him a little bit, I hate to see him go.
Yes.
I'd love to see him come back, but it's kind of an interesting dynamic. What's it like as parents?
Yeah, it was a crazy season for him as far as, going to Philly 2 different times. And, of course, we, in a perfect world, we will want him here. That's for selfish reasons. But now he's in Milwaukee. It's drivable. It could be way far away.
Yeah.
And he really loves it. We're hoping that he's found his little niche there. But yeah, in a perfect world, he would be here. We so enjoyed having him here, both on the Charge and the Cavs. But yeah, he's got to bloom where he's planted, and our fingers are crossed that he finds a happy place.
You're watching the Legends Table presented by Surfside here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. We need to take our first time out of the show, but when we come back, a whole lot more talking with Larry Nance Sr. and Jaynee Nance, all coming up next on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back to the Legends Table presented by Surfside. I'm Scott Zarilla sitting in for Rafa Hernandez Brito alongside the Legends, Campy Russell, Larry Nance Sr., and Jaynee, you are a legend, hanging out with this guy as long as you have.
I
Yes.
appreciate
Jaynee Nance.
that.
All right, now we're going to have a little fun. It's let's play this date in Larry Nance history. I teased you about it prior to the show because you're terrible with dates, but you've got to remember this first one. I'm going to give the date. You tell me if you remember what exactly happened. What happened in your career on February 25th of 1988? Oh, you've got to know that one.
Oh, I have no idea.
You were traded to the Cavaliers
Oh
with
my
Mike
gosh.
Sanders, a number one pick, for Kevin Johnson, Mark West, and Tyrone Corbin. I thought of all the ones, that would be the one that
Yeah.
you would get.
I thought Jaynee would get it. That's
No, I'm just thinking, like, what?
truly, when I
Wow.
can't think of stuff, Jaynee
Usually I remember.
pop it out right away.
Double
but-
stuff.
You stumped me.
All right, well, Jaynee, tell us, as the wife of a professional player, that was your first trade, your first
Oh,
big
yeah.
move. It's the dynamic obviously is different for a player than the family members. What was that like for you?
It was the most traumatizing event at the time because, he found out at 8 one night. He was at a game getting ready to play for the Suns. They told him. And then he started on his way back home. But in the meantime, I get a call at home. I'm waiting. I'm going to ride to the game with Mike Sanders' wife, who lived near us.
Oh, jeez.
And he said, "Is Larry there?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "Well, this is Coach Lenny of the Cavs. I want to welcome him." And I was like, I don't believe it. If you knew Larry, I said, you'd know he was at the game right now. And then he told me who he was, and it was like, okay, all right. And then hung up, and I was just like, what's going on? And then he walks in. It's like, it was just unbelievable.
Wow,
And then he left
wow.
at 8 o'clock next morning and never came home again.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah, it was craziness.
You're welcome to the NBA moments,
Yeah.
maybe? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Larry, can you tell me what happened in your career, which we now know he can't, but we're going to ask him anyway. January 7th of 1989. It's a record that still stands.
I'm going to take a guess that I blocked 11 shots.
Yes.
I knew
Thank
that had
you.
to come up.
Yes.
All right.
You blocked 11 shots, still a franchise record against the Knicks in a 104-96 win. And the Knicks were really good back then. You had 24 points as well. That record still stands. You had 7 in the first half, 4 in the second half for the 11 block shots. And the one thing that I remember, and maybe folks that are old enough to remember the game, Gerald Wilkins, good player back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember when he came into the lane and you were like waiting for him and he like dribbled right back out to the top of the key?
That's Wayne Emery's favorite, too. And
Yeah.
And to me, that's what competition is all about, because I know during that game, I had blocked a couple shots, and I could see Patrick Ewing, before he made his move, find out where I was on the floor. And that
Really?
right
Yeah.
there, you just,
Wow.
that's what it's all about. I don't have to beat my chest and nothing, but when
Yeah.
I seen him, it's like, dude, you're controlling the game. That's pretty cool. So, yeah,
How
that
many
was
times did
good.
you block your shot at
I don't think he's ever blocked my shot because I don't think I've ever really played against him other than his rookie year. And that night, he may have blocked a lot of shots there, too.
Yeah.
But, when I look back, listen to what you just said, Larry, just a second ago, about whenever I've seen you play and what I know about you is your impact. And I think that statement that you just made speaks volumes to that. When you have one of the better players, a Hall of Famer like Patrick Ewing, looking around for you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that speaks volumes to how you helped turn that game around as well as help this Cavalier team win basketball games.
Yep, and that's to me that's what it's all about. I mean, all that rah and beat his chest and all that stuff. That's just not me. That's never been not anybody on that team we played with here. And but we had a lot of success, and we knew it within each other, and we played for each other, and that's all that matters.
Well, you also had 10 block shots as a member of the Suns against Philadelphia. I won't give you the date on that one.
I didn't even know that.
Now,
so.
I've got one more, and it plays perfectly into your point, Camp. You're talking about the impact that he has had on games. You're not going to remember. I'm going to say it anyway. Can you tell me what happened in your career May 10th, 1992? I know. Against Boston in the Eastern Conference semifinals, Cavs were down 2-1. You were in Boston. Nobody won in Boston at that time. You guys won 114-112. And I've told you this before, jokes aside. I think it's the best game I've ever seen you play. You finished with 32 points on 13 of 16 shooting, all 6 of your free throws, 7 rebounds, 2 block shots, and you made all your 15 and 17-foot wing jump shots in the second half. Does that kind of ring a bell a little bit? Jaynee, do you remember that game?
I feel like us wives were all at the game, at that game.
Yeah.
And it was a
huge game.
The interesting part is the Celtics fans, they were so nice to us all. Like, after the like, great game, you guys deserved it. It was just like, what? We were so amazed that we didn't have to oh no, we got to get out of here,
Wow.
It was amazing. And at the time, I mean, it just seemed like they were just the best team, period.
Not then, because you won the series 4-3.
Yeah,
Now, the number that I stumbled upon that I thought was fascinating, and you didn't know this, but did you know that when you retired, you held the league record for most career block shots by any player other than a center with 2,027? How about that?
Wow.
It's not that it surprises me, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
I like it.
Yeah.
My uncle taught me, and I've tried to tell kids this. My uncle taught me a long time ago to block shots with your left hand because everybody's right-handed.
Yeah.
And I think that had a lot to do with me blocking shots and having success with staying out of foul trouble. But yeah, that kind of stuff is what I love to do because it's a challenge, and to be able to do that, change games and pick your teammates up, and we get going.
Yeah. And it's cool.
It is cool.
I was just saying earlier about Larry's impact, and I just wanted to share this, guys, with both of you all, primarily because of the impact that you have made on my 3 grandchildren, Eli, Grant, and Isaac.
So
That
sweet.
night, that day that you guys allowed us to come over and go fishing at you all's pond,
Yes.
they still talks about that right now.
That was so fun.
I mean, it was just a great time that they had, and they always saying to me now, "Hey, Granddad, can we go fishing again?"
Oh, that's
so
cute.
I just wanted to let
That's
you guys
what
know
life's
that.
all about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
what it's all about. That's what I
They're
love.
precious.
We need to take another quick time out here on the Legends Table presented by Surfside. We'll take a break, come back more with Larry Nance, Jaynee Nance. That's next right here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Cavs fans know greatness on the court and in their drink, and that's why Surfside teas and lemonades are the MVP of game day. No matter where you're watching, there's no better way to enjoy the action. Surfside iced teas and lemonades are made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Only 100 calories and 0 bubbles. That's right, no bubbles, no troubles, just a smooth, refreshing sip every time. So crack one open, sit back, and enjoy the game. Must be 21 and over. Please drink responsibly. We are wrapping things up here on the Legends Table, presented by Surfside. Larry Nance Sr., Jaynee Nance joining us. Folks, we're going to wrap up the show. There have been plenty of opportunities over the years. Once you came to Cleveland back in 1988, we just talked about it a moment ago, you probably could have gone anywhere. You could have left the cold and gone back to Phoenix. Why have you settled on roots here in Northeast Ohio?
Well, I know the reason I'm here, we're here, is I tell people all the time we had the best fans in the world. And through those fans, I've met lots of friends. We have met lots of friends. And it's just been a great place to stay. It ain't necessarily the weather, but everything else here beats it. I mean, we loved it.
He did just whisper to me, "Don't get long-winded." So I'll keep this short. But at first, it was traumatizing. It was like, what is this? Ohio in February, not the shining moment, but it's just the greatest place, the greatest people. It just sounds corny, but it's just the truth. I mean, we loved everything about it. We loved his teammates. We just loved everything. And we've been in the same house for 35 years. And we just love it. Great neighbors, great people. Wouldn't change a thing.
There you go.
You know, I think that speaks volumes to how anybody who has played here in Cleveland, who still lives here, feels that same way.
Yeah.
But I just want to end it in this situation here. And we've heard a lot of different stories from Larry in terms of, you know, his family, his dad and all that, and his brothers. Where did the name Darnell come from? Help us out with that.
My mom gave me that name.
Okay.
I'm not
And
exactly sure
there's
why
always
she
a
picked
reason
it.
why now.
I love the name because my mom gave it to me. Anything she did was always good. But I'm not exactly sure why she named me Donnell. But
Okay.
One of the other parents of a player told us that there used to be a singer back then named Larry Donnell. That was his name. And he was like a crooner.
Yeah.
So
He was a crooner.
it could be that. Could be that.
how
So.
shocking of me to not remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what better way to wrap up the show than with not knowing something from Larry Nance? But anyway, folks, thanks for joining us so much on this edition of the Legends Table presented by Surfside. For Campy Russell, for Cavalier Legends, well, you're a Cavalier Legend as well.
Yes.
Larry Nance Sr. and Jaynee Nance. I'm Scott Zarilla. Thanks so much for watching us here on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.